If you ask yourself the question, what is the purpose of my life? Why I'm here? What am I supposed to do? Is it just eat, drink, sleep, and continue like that until I die? Everyone at a point or the other have been asking that question. And if you look at the internet, you see that in plain sight. Everybody is just bringing his penny into the discussion. And I give you an example. Somebody asked, what is your purpose in life? And the person replied, I've been thinking a lot about this question recently. Life is very short, and when I'm old, in my last days, I want to be able to look back and say that my life mattered, that I just didn't waste it, that I did justice to the opportunities I was given and contributed to something valuable to improve this world. So that is an interesting point. You find out that it is also the case that everyone longs to understand the purpose of life, because otherwise, according to that site, life becomes, as they say, rearranging furniture on the Titanic, killing time until the inevitable end. But God has not left us ignorant. And the person there quotes the catechism of the church, and the question being, what is the chief end of man, the main? The answer being, man's chief end is to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. So that is desiring God, glorifying Him, and then enjoying God. And that is something very important. And I want to encourage you. How will you know? You need, first of all, to know that you have a purpose. You were not just born by accident. Even if, humanly speaking, you have been told that you were an accident. You know, there was no accident at all. Because every union, physical union between a man and a woman, has the potential of resulting in a birth. And so coming together, whether in love or passing feeling, is the start of a new life, which means that we are all born of love, whether this was expressed, felt. We all have a purpose, and God allowed your life and mine to start with a purpose. So the issue is, what do you think is the purpose of your life? And if you think there is none, it's just that you don't know. If you sit down, or even if you doubt, ask people around you, what has my life changed in yours? In your circumstances, in your family, in the way, and you will find that there is always something positive. And it's important that you find the purpose of your life. And how will you know? It is something that makes you tick. Sometimes something that you feel gets you passionate about. Some people are passionate about healing, contributing to healing, contributing to making people better. Maybe because sometimes somebody in their family has died prematurely and they really want to change the situation. There are people that are the result of a botched abortion, and they go to the internet and say, I'm so glad that I survived, and now I want to fight this evil with all my life. And they join groups, they join NGOs, they train as a nurse or a midwife, a doctor. They become a pastor. My own passion was sharing all I know, especially languages. I loved my language, I loved words and the way they expressed feelings so beautifully, especially in poetry. I was so passionate about it, and I became a poet, a writer, and a teacher, and a researcher of words. Everyone has a passion. Some boys, or even girls, it's not restricted to boys. Some youngsters are passionate about dismantling, rebuilding, whether it's Lego or something else, and they may end up being a mechanic or an engineer. They are passions, and there is no hierarchy of passions. Whether you are a doctor or a mechanic, it's the same. Passion leads you. There are people that are passionate about building, and then whether they become a mason or an architect, doesn't matter. It's about building. And there are people about building others. And there are all kinds of professions that offer this opportunity for you, so that your work becomes joy, passion, seeing others doing well. I remember one of my students that was from Wales, and she struggled with English, and she was writing a memoir, an undergraduate memoir with me, and she was really having difficulties. And I told her, why do you struggle like that? And she said, oh, it's because I'm Welsh. At home we speak Welsh, and really English is not my thing. And we agreed that she was going to do better. And she was so glad. When she graduated, she sent me a card, and I was really emotional when I read it, because I knew I'd made a difference by God's grace. There's one of my teachers in secondary school that made a difference in my life. I was struggling with mathematics. It was not my thing at all. And she told me, I saw you having a bad mark last year. You will do perfect this year. And I just swallowed that, say yes. And she gave me free lessons. I was cycling to her home, and she was teaching me, helping me. And at the end, I really surprised myself and others by getting a top mark in mathematics. You can make a difference. Whatever you are doing, whether it's sewing, singing, raising a family, don't mind about what people say. If you have a passion, feed it, nourish it, care for it, and see the result. And joy will be the result. Joy will be your portion.